Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, Pakistan is all set to start their final test series in this World Test Championship calendar against the West Indies at home. A lot has been said about the pitch, but I think it's clear now that it's going to be an absolute turner. But the West Indies are very confident. They said we're not England, so we're going to approach it differently. So I think that will be very, very interesting. So we're going to discuss that in detail. The fact is, Pakistan, if you look at their certain sides as well, Pakistan have got one bad news as well in the ranks, and that is of course that we see Mir Hamza today while fielding in the practice session has been injured. So his selection now in that playing 11 is of course not possible. So I think that's going to be something that we discuss in detail. Then we move on to the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. We'll give you all the details regarding that. Pakistan is all set to start their campaign, but the fact is that our investment in women's cricket and the way that we've approached it is something that I'm a bit skeptical about as well. So I think we really need to talk about how the way things have been moving and how Pakistan can now really talk about women's cricket, not just related to a subject. You have to realize that the ICC's rules and regulations now, they mandate each and every cricket board that is registered with the ICC to have a women's team on the youth side as well participating. Otherwise, they're not allowed to participate in other domains as well. So I think that has forced us to, develop an under-19 team. But it's also something that the Pakistan Cricket Board really needs to focus now on. I've said it on other platforms as well. I'll say it once again, that it's very disappointing that in all the meetings, everything that happens, women's cricket is nowhere in Pakistan. It's not even discussed. So the PCB, if there was any right time to do it, this is the PCB management that can. The chairman Pakistan Cricket Board actually can develop a structure for women's cricket. Have somebody take the reins of women's cricket for the next 3 years. Just build a team for the future. Look at the way women's cricket around the world is going. India has made a world record of scoring the most runs in one-day internationals across men and women's cricket. I was reading one of their players today, in about 6 to 7 one-days has scored 444 runs. So I think it's not even a cultural debate anymore. You look at Bangladesh, the way they're going. You look at Sri Lanka, the way they're going. I'm not even talking about England, Australia, who've got a better structure than us. I'm talking about in the region. So I think we're far behind. We really need to step up. Nigeria is participating in women's cricket. A lot is happening. We're not there anymore. So I think it's something that we need to discuss. Then we of course give you the update of the Australian Open as well. The Grand Slam, the first one of this year, continues in spectacular fashion. Emma Raducanu has been knocked out courtesy of Iga Swiatek, and she looks like a one tournament wonder kid now. It's just not there. So we'll talk about that and give you the latest details regarding that as well. Time now to introduce the guests. First of all, joining us in studios is international cricket commentator, broadcaster, presenter and our sports expert Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm doing great, thank you.
We've also been joined by sports expert Malik Usman Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum assalam. I'm doing well.
Thank you for joining us. Now, of course, we discuss things in detail right after a short break. Stay tuned. And now, of course, discussing things in detail, we start off with Pakistan's test match that starts against the West Indies in Multan. Asif Ahmed, what are we expecting now? We've been told it's a turner. Pakistan's probably, they are saying they might go with just one fast bowler. But how are we seeing this test match?
Well, if you have watched the presser of the skipper of Pakistan, Shan Masood, 2 questions been asked. One about the fast bowling department, and this is the second question, that we have done extremely well against England. With these turning surfaces, and in Rawalpindi, in Multan, Pakistan have got a very good victory there. The question is that what will be the Pakistani, the plan? What would be the plan? The plan is that Pakistan haven't announced playing 11 yet. Yes, we have some problems about the injuries. Sam is not there. As you shared in your intro, that Mir Hamza is struggling, and probably he won't be the part of playing 11. Then of course we'll move towards new guys, and that is Kashif Ali, as we were discussing in the break, that the best time that give chances to the players like Herrera, waiting for so long. Rohail Nazir is there, plenty of experience in domestic cricket. I think he played more than 30 games. So I think it's the best time to give rest to your premier players like Mohammad Rizwan, because will be playing, Tri-Nation Series after this, and of course that we're heading towards the mega event like Champions Trophy. So this the significance of this series is like that. If we're finishing, let's suppose, on number 8 or number 7, doesn't make any difference. But if we'll give chances to the new players, might we'll get some more talent in Test cricket. We'll be playing Test cricket after 10 months, and I don't know that what will be the planning of Pakistan Cricket Board. Either will go with the same skipper, because if we'll finish on a good note, let's suppose Pakistan getting victory 2-0 against West Indies, of course that everybody will be in good confidence, in good touch. So this series, as we discussed earlier, that we're looking a big role of the Pakistani spinners, Noman and Sajid, of course, and batters, of course, Babar Azam is there, and Imamul Haq is coming back. I think that if not Huraira, then who? Of course, then Imamul Haq. But I'll go with Huraira and Ruhail Nazir. It's a big opportunity for these guys, and this opportunity is for the selectors as well to test these guys. They've performed so well in domestic cricket. Why not against West Indies? Why you're waiting for another series against South Africa or Australia?
I think perspective really needs to be put into question, that the Pakistan Cricket Board management now needs to decide that you can't, destroy the longevity of these players by benching them for more than 1 or 2 series. It leaves a critical moment. I mean, look at South Africa, the way they've debuted Mapaka, I think has been a brilliant start for him as well in his career, although those were conditions that favoured him. But Huraira scoring consistently, Ruhail Nazir, we've already wasted, I often say that we've wasted 3 years of Ruhail Nazir as a second wicket keeper of Pakistan, and especially in Test cricket format. But how we proceed this further is going to be very important. But obviously, West Indies have said they're not England Usman. They bring a new challenge, and their players mostly, are good on the front foot. So they're not going to go back. They're going to take the spinners head on, and their aggressive intent is already there. So it's going to be a very, collective series all in all.
So I think Pakistan consider this to be a winning formula for them to have all kinds of the spinning wickets and having 2 excellent spinners as well. I agree to that to an extent only. Why? Because against England, if you look at those games, Pakistan found themselves in a hole many a times. It was not for once or twice, but somehow their lower order did take them out of that hole. With the likes of Salman, even Sajid, they all played really good batting hand as well. And that was the difference between England and Pakistan. If you look at the top order batting of both these countries, Pakistani top orders also faltered as like the England batting order. But against England, it's going to be a slightly different ball game. That is that West Indies are slightly better on these kind of pitches, because if you look at the West Indies pitches, a couple of those countries have pitches similar to the Asian conditions, and they are well acclimatized to those kind of pitches as batsmen and as spinners, and they have a couple of good spinners in this squad. And I think with the left arm spin and the Pakistani batsmen, they are so vulnerable against left arm spinner. Forget about the pedigree of that left arm spinner. They just see a left arm spinner and they go into their horror shell. And I think this is going to be a battling series for Pakistan if they go out rightly for spin turners at the pitch that turns square. I think it is going to be a slightly more competitive series. I think Pakistan should clean sweep them, but it will not be without a fuss. It is going to be competitive, but Pakistan of late have lost games from winning positions, and it has not happened once or twice, it has happened many a times. So Pakistan needs to learn this kind of formula, that they should not let go of a match which they have by the scruff of the neck, and how they are going to end games against the likes of West Indies at home. That is going to be the first signal how Pakistan take Test cricket seriously or not. Secondly, Pakistan with a huge gap between Test series, I think that is not helping Pakistan. They need to clear out how they are going to take Test cricket forward. If they don't have Test matches, they need to arrange a couple of matches with teams like Afghanistan, Ireland, or teams of such sort, Zimbabwe for example, so that their cricketing development as far as Test cricket is concerned keeps on moving forward. So bringing in the same players of the same playing 11, the same playing 15, no matter what the opposition, whether home or away, I think that is not serving the purpose for Pakistan in general. I think Pakistan should win this, but they will have a slightly better fight than the baseball that England brought forward to Pakistan.
But Usman, the question is that if we now have decided that we're going to continue with this strategy for all our home games, especially in Test cricket I'm talking about, that we're going to make these rank turners, that give us a home advantage. How does that, and I understand it's fine, India have done that for ages now, that's the reason why they've been so successful at home. But how then do you balance the equation of when you go play in conditions opposite to this?
So if you look at the history, whatever kind of pitches you are preparing, you are losing against South Africa, many times against New Zealand, always against Australia. You only give a fight to England, and that has been the case for Pakistan even when they were preparing flat decks. That was for reverse swing. But now that reverse swing element has gone because we have medium pacer bowlers. We don't have fast bowlers of 145, 150 click bowlers. So for that we need spin turners. We have two excellent world class spinners, experienced spinners. Talking about what you're saying about the SENA countries, how we are going to feature over there, I think this strategy as far as Test World Championship is concerned is not a bad strategy. If you can win your games and series at home, I think you do wonders for yourself to qualify for the World Test Championship final. If you're looking at the long term project and development of a Test cricket team, for that you need a long term project. That is what Jason Gillespie was talking about, but you threw him out unceremoniously, and you were not taking him into the picture for whatever you were doing. So that long term project, I think that has gone to the dustbin. Whatever you're doing is short term, and I think it has to be short term as far as Test cricket is concerned, because you have a couple of series, then you have a gap of 10-12 months, then you have one series, then you have a gap of 5-6 months. So you're not developing any kind of a strategy how you're going to take your Test cricket forward. For that thing, if you're asking me, you're asking my opinion, I think it's fair and square. You have to win your home series first and foremost. After that, you can look what you're going to do away.
Develop that confidence, I think.
Obviously.
Yes, give them a minute.
See, if I would like to add one more point. If you look at our record in Pakistan before this rag turners, it was extremely poor, extremely poor. Even the ex-cricketers from other nations were talking about how poor a team can be at home. So Pakistan did not have a slightest of idea how they are going to function in Pakistan in Test cricket. I think at least they have got an idea. If they can win a couple of games, I think it will only boost their confidence, nothing else.
Absolutely. But you know, it will really help Asif if the same kinds of conditions are then replicated or balanced on the domestic end as well, because obviously for far too long now we've had a problem with players who are technically not good against spin, and this is, I think, a criminal offence in Pakistan.
Well, Ahmed, actually, you know, you were asking the question about if we're making these turner tracks in Pakistan, what will happen when we'll go away and we'll play away series? And Usman Bhai and Ahmed, this is what the question been asked to Shan Masood as well in the presser, and what he replied, he said that every country they used to get advantage of the home conditions, as Ahmed was talking about India and Australia. But the question is that the India and Australia now, they are pretty much well groomed test nations, and that's why for a long time they are now dominating in Test cricket. The problem is Pakistan, as you're referring that in domestic cricket, what's happening, what kind of tracks the players they're getting, either they're the green tracks or flat tracks. We're not getting any sort of turning tracks. This is what I have observed from last 3-4 years. And that's why the problem was that we're not getting good spinners. The people asked that what's the problem going on. Even Saklan Bhai was in NCA, and some other spinners, Abdur Rahman was in NCA, but we didn't get any sort of new talent in spin bowling department. So the problem is that if you're not fixing the things and problems which been faced in domestic cricket, you cannot bring good talent on an international arena. That's the problem is. And now, if coming back to once again your question that what will happen in away series, the Shan Masood's answer was pretty much interesting. He said that doesn't matter if we will try to win, we'll try to finish on good note, but the entire world, they are getting the home advantages as we're getting the same thing in Pakistan. So we have done against England, we're doing against West Indies, and we'll do against South Africa as well. And when we'll go to South Africa, we'll get the same some seeming tracks there.
He's great for press conferences. He's great for the approach. I just want him to be the same brave character when he's batting on the pitch as well. That's all I want.
And whenever you ask this question, he'll get angry along with Shirazi sir.
It's simple. Look, let me be very honest at this stage. None of us are actually getting paid to talk about him getting failed. We want him to succeed. Why wouldn't we want? But we want him to be that instinct captain that Pakistan needs right now in Test cricket.
Well, the problem is captaincy, Ahmed. If your skipper is not up to the mark, if he's not taking good decisions, if he's not brave enough, how he can produce results. And he has admitted this in the press that 3 or 4 games are pretty much close, when Bangladesh 26 for 6, when South Africa 99 for 8. So we should have won those games. What happened? Why they didn't finish well? Why they didn't go for the victory? Just because of the mindset. The mindset was something, you know, when you are when you are scared, you're not taking good decisions. How you can promote your players like who's sitting on the you know, on the benches? If you're not promoting them, you're just bringing your premier players and you're just asking them to produce result. I think it's not a good idea. So the problem is Shan Masood's captaincy. But who will take the decision? You, me, Shirazi Sahab, or who?
I think him himself needs to.
Yes.
Usman would like to add something.
Yeah, I think putting too much blame on Shan Masood may not be right. I have a slightly different opinion. Talking about 26 for 6 or 98 for 8, it cannot be termed specifically that the captaincy was not right. I can agree that he must be slightly more attacking. I think that has to be the case. The blame usually falls on the captain. If you win, he gets all the credit. But tell me one bowler that Pakistan has who can be considered as an X factor. You don't have any. Why Pakistanis used to win in 80s, 90s? We had excellent bowlers who could reverse the old ball. Now we don't have reverse swing, we don't have express pace, we don't have mystery spinner, so we don't have any kind of X factor. And to get the tail out, you need something of that sort. What happened in South Africa was, once the ball was nibbing around, you had Muhammad Abbas, and once that effect of Muhammad Abbas went off, you did not have a second bowler who could disturb even the lower order of South Africa. This is the same thing that happened in Pakistan against Bangladesh as well. If you depend on 1 or 2 players, that is not going to function too much. Looking at Wasim Waqar, Imran Khan, Sarfaraz Nawaz, the likes of those world-class bowlers, they used to reverse the ball. They had express pace as well. That was the reason they could win you games from nowhere. But now even the winning condition, you don't have that express pace by which you can take a batsman on the back foot, let alone picking up a wicket. So you don't instill a fear factor in the opposition. That is the reason Pakistan is not able to win it. Secondly, talking about Shan Masood's presser, I think he is one of the most clear-headed player who comes to the press conference to speak his mind. He talks sense. I actually agree with him what he's saying. First and foremost, you need to have your home advantage. First and foremost, win all the games that you have at home, and then you have to focus what happens overseas.
You know, it's like somebody telling me 2 + 2 is 4 and I'm saying yes, I'm agreeing with him. That's the case. Me, you, Asif, we already know this. He's not talking about anything new. Yes. We know how to win.
All of us, actually, someone who is asking this question to Shan Masood about the pitches is actually doing dishonesty as a journalist, because everybody knows who prepares the pitches. It's not Shan Masood.
No, but actually Shan Masood gives his idea, his
really?
input that I want these kind of pitches.
Come on, Asif.
Really?
What kind of input, Asif? I mean,
really?
This is, see, let's talk about the captaincy of Babar Azam. This is what I've shared so many times, that Babar Azam went to the curator and he said that I want a clean surface. I don't want any sort of
Babar
grass.
Azam was
There
the
is a
most,
difference
was the
between
most
Babar and Shan
lost soul as a captain, let me tell you. Babar was nowhere in the captaincy.
Ahmed, and then who said that we want these spinning or turning tracks to the curators when England came to Pakistan?
Aqib Javed and Aleem Dar.
Aleem Dar.
Oh, okay, Aqib Javed.
It was a decision that even Jason Gillespie did not know.
And they didn't ask to the skipper.
No.
What, okay.
No.
Okay, all right.
They dictated.
Then I
Even
buy
Jason
over.
Gillespie did not know.
The skipper didn't know he was going to be the skipper before this series.
Yes.
I mean, you know, that's the case with Pakistan cricket.
Ours is an exceptional team.
Yes. You know, at sometimes, you know, accidents happen, but then they work in your favor. It's one of those scenarios. But that being said, I would still believe that, you know, for the sake of confidence and for the sake of the way this series is going, Usman, players like Ruhail Nazir, players like Huraira, this is going to be the best opportunity to play them. I don't see anything after this then.
I just don't understand why we don't have backup wicket keepers. Even at the time of Sarfaraz,
Ahmed,
you
yes.
could see that during the World Cup. He was the lone wicket keeper that was taken to the World Cup. And when Inzamamul Haq was asked that if he gets cold or he gets injured, do we have a separate wicket keeper or a standby keeper? He said that we will pray that he doesn't get cold. So this was a stunning response from the chief selector. And even now you see, if, for the past couple of years, you only have Muhammad Rizwan, you don't keep a backup. You keep a backup which cannot bug Muhammad Rizwan, that is Sarfaraz, because we all know that Sarfaraz carries all but over. So Rizwan is safe and secure.
But not giving a backup has given opportunity to 3 great players who went on to play for Pakistan. Because they had to, they showed that, okay, we can wicket keep, and they solidified their side. One was Umar Akmal. One series we had Imamul Haq wicket keeping, and then the great Usman Khan wicket keeping for
See, once again, if you look at these 3 examples, we all know that they were not long-term projects. So wicket keeper is always secure. I don't know how. And then he also becomes the captain of Pakistan side. That is another greatness. See, Rizwan, for that matter, is not a match winner with the bat. We all know that. He can accumulate runs. He can get good 50, 60 runs. He can actually chip in with a couple of good performances. But he is not undroppable of that sort. He is the best wicketkeeper batsman in Pakistan. We agree. But that doesn't mean you don't have a backup. If you have a backup for Babar Azam, that is, you had a couple of players you tested out. Then you have a backup for Shaheen Shah Afridi, for Naseem Shah. We have backup for everybody, but we don't have a backup for Rizwan just because he can feel secure. You can try Rohil Nazir. You can try him as a batsman. He's an excellent batsman as well. But having a good backup wicketkeeper who can bat really well does not harm your prospects by any means. I think these are kind of those series where you can rest Mohammad Rizwan, because this series is the outcome of this series is not going to do any wonders for your team by any means. You are not going to qualify for the finals, and you are not going to hamper your
And technically,
position.
it doesn't matter if you finish last or second last.
It
It's the
doesn't
same
matter.
thing. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So you can try a couple of good players. Certainly, Rohil Nazir is someone I really like from his under 19 days as well. So testing him out, and you can, if he does well, you can utilize him in the batting order anywhere. And if wicketkeeper gets injured, you have a backup wicketkeeper who is playing in the playing 11. I think you need to test these players out. If Rizwan can play as a batsman, specialist batsman, why not Rohil Nazir or players like him?
Absolutely. Yes, Asif, your concluding remarks.
Yeah, only I strongly agree with Usman bhai, but we're talking about Shan Masood's captaincy, so let's not discuss. And best wishes for Pakistan cricket team. And I would be really happy if tomorrow I'll be watching Rohil Nazir as a wicketkeeper and Hurera as an opening batter.
Certainly. Thank you very much, Asif and Usman, for joining us. That wraps it up from me and the entire team. It's